We all had an early vision of what our lives would look like, and then life actually happened. From marriage to motherhood, career dreams, and everything in between, this is Life Actually with Mary Belle. Welcome back to Life Actually with Mary Belle and Dana Carretta-Stein. Part 2 is here, and we're going to be as transparent as possible, which I say all the time, but we're running late, and we're going to do a super speed episode right here, but it is going to be mostly just, I have EMDR, and I'm so glad that I wrote on my cards what the hell that means. I've never heard about it before, and I would venture to guess most people haven't either. So rather than me reading it off the card, please tell everybody what it is.
Absolutely. It stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's a lot of vowels,
It is.
Yeah, but it's basically an evidence-based trauma-informed treatment for PTSD, and it can be used for all other mental health stuff because it's anxiety, depression, sports performance enhancement, all of that. Because what makes EMDR is it's not symptom focused. We view symptoms as signs of what happened to you. So if you have panic attacks and anxiety, it's not like, oh, this fixes your panic attack. It's let's find out where that panic attack came from. Where was that actually helpful? How did that help you survive? Get to the root and then process it, because that panic attack can keep happening in the present because that memory wasn't processed where it first originated from. So when you process that experience, then that symptom alleviates itself on its own, because what was adaptive in the past is no longer adaptive now.
Okay.
But your nervous system doesn't know that.
So when you say process, it's not that the person forgot that it happened. It just means that it happened and it sits there and they don't do anything to work through it.
It's not properly encoded in your brain.
Okay.
It's like very neuroscience-y, which is why I love it so much. It's like rooted in these, scientific reasonings. But it's very much like a memory can get scattered and placed in incorrectly stored in all these different areas of your brain. Like the way it was explained to me once is, imagine if you take like a piece of glass and you break it over your head and it's kind of bits and pieces are scattered all around. Mm-hmm. So what EMDR does is help put those pieces back together so that that memory can be properly put away.
Okay.
Where your brain and your nervous system knows that's old stuff. So that, because when we don't know it's old stuff, that we keep getting triggered because your brain thinks that that old stuff is happening again. So those symptoms.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense. So it's not necessarily all childhood, but a lot of it could be childhood.
Absolutely.
And then is that majority that you see is childhood?
There's a statistic, I forget what the actual number is, but it's something like individuals who develop PTSD, textbook PTSD, usually have earlier childhood attachment difficulties.
Okay.
Because that's usually the precursor. Not everybody, it's not 100% statistic, but usually it's the precursor for PTSD to take place. Okay. So that doesn't mean you have to work on the childhood trauma stuff. It just, in terms of treatment planning, it gives us a roadmap of, like I'll say to a client, like, what are our goals for treatment? Symptom reduction, where we're just focusing on the more recent thing that is like kind of the PTSD is around, or are we looking for symptom resolution, where we're clearing up that more like present day recent event and going to like the earliest roots where things kind of started.
Wow. Yeah. See, this is pretty crazy too, because for the amount of people that would have no idea what EMDR is, because we've never heard it, including myself,
right?
And how beneficial it is and would be for people to know that it even exists.
Yeah.
And you have a tremendous amount of followers on Instagram. So, obviously your content and the things you speak about resonates with a lot of people, but it is crazy. I don't really have a traumatic, nothing that I know of that's traumatic in my past. So, I haven't had a need necessarily for it. A lot of people do. Mm-hmm. So, I guess those are,
And a lot of things, it's not just what happened to us, but what didn't happen to us.
Okay.
So, people usually will say, well, nothing traumatic happened to me, but maybe they grew up in an environment where they weren't given nurturing and love. We need that as kids. Mm-hmm. We need to be cared for. And if we grew up with in an environment where maybe our parents were in survival mode and they kept you alive, but they didn't, really help you thrive with nurturing and love and all of that. That could lead to anxiety or feeling depressed or difficulty relating to others, feeling lonely in your present day.
Okay.
So it's what happened to us, what didn't happen to us, and sometimes there's things we call my EMDR trainer called it 1,000 paper cuts, like death by 1,000 paper cuts. So these little micro things that happen can have that compound effect and impact us long term. So it's not just this one isolated incident. There's a reason why in trauma therapy we call that a unicorn, because it's very rare that someone has one awful thing that's happened to them in their life.
Right.
It's usually a lot more than one. So it's usually the zooming out and seeing the pattern and how that pattern affected the person. How did that wire your nervous system? Do you brace and constantly in that survival mode? Are you constantly tense or anxious? Or are you shut down and depressed and just blah?
Isolate.
Yeah.
Now, is there a percentage of how many people who go through it find success after it?
Yeah, it's 80-something%
Wow.
is successful. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It's very, it's not, I would say EMDR is a tool. It's not the only important thing in therapy.
I was just going to say, when would you pick that versus therapy or in conjunction with? How do you know?
Yeah. So sometimes it's people find that for me, it's all about explaining why things are the way they are, and then into why that person feels anxious. Oh, well, your nervous system shaped itself because of XYZ. And then they go, oh, and they have that so I'm not crazy, that light goes off. And that sometimes is enough to kind of get things moving. And then there's other individuals who know something cognitively, but it's still stuck. They could know something wasn't their fault. They know it here, but they still feel guilty whenever something happens. And that's where it would be really helpful to target those moments where that belief of it's my fault first started. And sometimes they're not visual memories. It could be pre-verbal, where we're not going to have a visual memory of it. So that's developmental trauma, and EMDR is done a little differently, but still very applicable and works great. But it's just knowing what your target is. Where are you going? Are you focusing on a time period? Are you focusing on a specific memory? What are you targeting?
And you could do this without the other person who could have been involved in that memory being present.
Yeah, the perpetrator, so to speak.
Right.
Oh yeah. In some cases, you don't want them there because then their nervous system's not going to feel safe.
Got it.
So the biggest thing for effective reprocessing is feeling safe enough, right? If we felt completely safe, then we wouldn't need EMDR. But how do we feel safe enough to go to work on those stressful experiences and being able to maintain what we call dual awareness? So 1 foot in the present, 1 foot in the past. How can I know I'm in the present moment but still look back and feel the feelings associated with these experiences and work through them instead of avoid them?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It's very cool. And it never stops being amazing. I had a session with a client last week, and I still get these moments of, God, this really works. It's so cool.
Well,
it
there's
never
so
stops
many
being
even
amazing.
different people in my life that I know of that it just sounds like it would be beneficial for me knowing just inside information or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting, and like I said, it's interesting because I've never heard of it before.
Yeah. It's really well for individuals who've gone through therapy. Mm-hmm. They've done talk therapy and they've applied all those things, but they're still stuck.
Okay.
So it's a lot of times that precursor, doing that work beforehand is a really good preparation for EMDR therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no, so that is separate from trauma therapy?
Well, it's a form of trauma therapy.
Okay.
EMDR is a form of trauma.
But your two
informed.
businesses,
Yep.
one is
Peaceful Living, which is my group practice. It's basically my team of therapists.
okay. Regular
Cool.
therapy?
They do EMDR. My practice is built on the trauma-informed model.
Okay.
So basically, no matter what our approach is, whether it's IFS therapy, EMDR therapy, even CBT and stuff, it's not what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you.
Okay.
So that's the approach we take with all of our clients. We don't label people.
Very interesting. CBT, when I used to work for a weight loss camp, they had CBT courses because it was kids who were overweight, cognitive behavioral therapy. And I feel like most parents sent their kids to this camp like, okay, let's put them in this because I have money. Let me throw the money at it.
Right.
Meanwhile, these kids are overeating at home. And so you're giving them cognitive behavioral therapy. But if it has to do with what happened to you, and then you're going home after the summer camp to the thing that was causing it to begin with,
there you
you're
go.
just, and again, also like from the weight loss camp perspective too, like what are you really fixing? You're not. It's like they're going to go home, they're going to be in the same environment, they're going to come back next year.
Right. So like CBT can be helpful when, you teach them that they can change their thoughts, but a lot of times like story follows state. So our thoughts are dictated by the state of our nervous system. And when things happen very quickly, we process information from the bottom up. Our nervous system can get hijacked and grabs hold of our thought before we even have a chance to realize what's going on. When we practice things like mindfulness and stuff and that slows down things, then we can notice our nervous system state and then be able to change the thought. Mm-hmm. But we need to be aware of the body first before we can just change. So think positively. Like it's easier said than done. There's nuance to everything.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have to notice the body before you can change your thoughts.
Oh my goodness. I have so many questions swirling.
Yeah.
Let's have a session. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, anytime.
So I did have a question. What are your thoughts on regular and personal therapy? And you already said that it's not necessarily for everybody.
Right.
Right. What else would you have to say about that? Like if somebody was listening, I don't know. I guess the problem is that it's too broad of a spectrum for the reasons, I guess, why you need therapy and what you want it for.
If you're coming to therapy, be prepared to be uncomfortable.
Okay.
So if you're not willing, you'd be surprised how many people come to therapy but don't actually want to do the work on themselves. Like everyone needs a space to like bitch and vent, and that's great. But there comes a point in time where it's, do I want to like talk about the other person, everything they're doing, or do I want to talk about why it's bothering me so much? Mm-hmm. And that's therapy, is focusing on what's happening inside of you and why you're so uncomfortable and facing your own discomfort. If you're not willing to face that, then it's not for you.
But what would you say for the people, because there's a bunch of people I know too, they're like, I'm not going to therapy because all they do is basically ask me questions. They ask, what did they say? Like, well, how are you feeling about this? Is what people say all the time. They're like, that's not helpful to me. And then I've gone through the process. It's funny because when you do that and you're guided to really figure out, like you just said, why do you feel the way that you do? Right. And then you basically just keep peeling back layers, right? I would assume that the people who are like, I'm not going because all they're going to do is ask me, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? Those are the people who are not comfortable being uncomfortable.
Because my response to that is, why do you want to avoid how you feel?
Right.
Right? So if you don't want to face your own feelings, don't go to therapy. It won't be a productive use of your time. Mm-hmm. Some people just need therapy because they need a place to, like, someone who's not going to jump in and fix it. Like maybe you grew up like you're a teenager and your parents, every time you want to talk to them, they give you like, you should do this, you should do that. And they want someone to just listen. Therapy could be very helpful for that. An outlet. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But having a clear intention is really important. I know for me as a therapist, like the way I do therapy is we have to focus on your own stuff. Not every therapist does that. Some therapists are like, just like listen, whatever, but having an intention of what you're hoping to get out of therapy is what makes it successful.
Okay.
Do you want someone to just listen? Do you want to alleviate a certain symptom? Like, do you want to get to the root of something? Like, know why
now
you're
that
going.
Stuff that you speak about in like initial consultations.
Yeah. So we usually will say it takes 1 to 3 sessions to determine if, the therapist and client are a good fit together.
Okay.
And that's just, the nature of the symptoms, like the specialty, like if the therapist is well versed in that, if the client feels safe with that therapist, like for, interpersonally, people can trigger things that we don't realize, like if the therapist is wearing a perfume that an abusive parent always said, like things like that can come up. And they can come up and a person can get triggered and not realize it, but assign a narrative. Oh, I just didn't like that person. I didn't like that therapist. But really, if you unpack it, there could be, not all the time, but there could be a link somewhere that there's an association.
Okay. And then because a lot of my friends, obviously, we've gone through like the marriage therapy sections of our marriage where we're all together for like 7-year itch and 10 years and beyond, is marriage therapy for everybody. Because when you're talking, I would say, and I'm not a blame men for things person. I think it just depends on the person. You could be a shitty woman as much as you could be a shitty man.
Shitty person.
Right, you're just a shitty individual. But a majority of the time you hear that the men are like, I'm going because she's making me go, right? So when do you know as a therapist like that it's going to work as far as the couple being there together or not?
That both people want to be there.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying like, oh, someone's just making me go, do you not want your marriage to be great? Like, what do you...
And a lot of times it could be like the infidelity stuff where somebody just got caught and like they don't want their whole life to like be upended where they have to like leave and, you know, separate stuff and things like that. But like the people who are like, okay, no, I really do want to fix this. And then you basically shed all those outward layers and you're there for the proper reasons.
Right. 'Cause so many people want to avoid and because it was safe to avoid. Think if you grew up in an environment where it wasn't safe to have feelings or to be a human being, then it would make sense that like therapy would be a huge threat, right? Because if you grew up with a very like narcissistic parent, then you're not allowed to have like your own thoughts and feelings about things. Therapy is all about your own thoughts and feelings. So that would be really scary. Knowing that is helpful for someone to like, that's the trauma-informed way of, it's not that therapy sucks, because most people are like, oh, I just don't want to do it. It's just, it's bullshit, whatever. Or is it that like it triggers something in you and why and where did that come from? Okay. And so forth.
Yeah, like I said, I could ask you so many questions, but I know we have to like sort of wrap up because you have a client and we don't like late people here because we're old school Italians. But if somebody was listening and they're like, oh shit, I probably do need to go. Like, what is the first place to sort of, besides your specific, but like, what do they need to know before they get involved or start to do therapy?
Yeah, I would say like to make like, just like write down what your goals are for therapy. What are you hoping to get out of it? Because then when you start looking for a therapist, and you can just go on Google and find, you know, whatever, if it's EMDR therapist near me or, you know, anxiety therapist, then when you schedule a consult, and most therapists will do free 15-minute consults, you have like a good like thing to talk about with, this is what I'm looking for. And then that therapist could say like, I'm a good fit or I'm not a good fit. But that's giving that therapist the information that they need to determine if they're the best person to help you. Okay. So that's important. You could always check things like Psychology Today is a great place to find therapists. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of different avenues.
I just think you're so wonderful too. Like I would just route so many people to you. Like because I love how passionate you are, but you're very easy to talk to and you're very non-judgmental. And I know all of these things from an hour of being with you.
Thank you.
Like to pride myself on my first impressions of people.
Love that.
But you really do seem that way. And then also the people in my life that I know like would benefit from it or could use it. You need somebody like you where you're very genuine, very authentic, very engaged. Like it's very easy to talk to you. You look right at somebody, you're listening to them. And I think that's the most important part too of feeling comfortable. First step. 100%. Of even going to therapy because like you said, not every therapist is created equally. People just have different personalities. Yeah. I think a lot of times when like you're super smart and in tune, you can pass the test, but like you're not necessarily the most personable.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, I tend to find that IQ and EQ can have an inverse relationship, like where sometimes people who are very intellectual have a hard time interpersonally.
Right. And like if I'm spending time with you and I got to go, you know, quote, sit on the couch because that's what we all picture it as. Like, I want to enjoy seeing you.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, every client that I see, like, we love our time together. Like, I look forward to them coming in. They look forward to coming in. And that's how I want it to be. Right. It's, you know, my son's OT. He says all the time too, Vinny, he's like, I want Philip to like enjoy coming here because if not, then what are we doing?
You're just wasting everybody's time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. It's important. I just think it's amazing to it just makes you feel good that there are people like you out there that are committed to helping people make it through those things because we'd just all be better if people really paid attention and fixed themselves, which it sucks because it's not often not their fault. A lot of things that happen to people, but Okay. I'm going to stop there, even though I could, like I said, talk to you another 3
A million
hours.
times, or we could always do like a part 3.
I feel like we do. Yes. I said the same thing to Sean too. So this is a very good podcasting day here
Love
with
it.
Claudio at Coyote Visions. But we're on the lightning round, which I always do. Just it's quick. It's whatever comes to you. It's just usually, and especially too, trauma therapy. It can get a little dark in there.
Oh,
but
yeah, absolutely.
whatever
Dark
comes,
humor is my thing.
Yeah. Whatever comes to your mind. There's like 20 of these, and it just goes quick.
Okay.
Just to get us to
Also,
know
just
you more.
thinking of Friends nonstop of like the lightning round. Like,
Yeah.
that's where my brain goes.
Yes. And it's the most random things that literally, as they come to me, I put in bullet points in my Google Doc, and here they are. So
Amazing.
here we go. Without further ado, lightning round. Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Red wine or white wine?
Red.
Ooh, that was quick. Red sauce or garlic and oil?
Red.
Favorite pastry?
Cannoli.
Me too. Beach or pool?
Pool.
Family day trip or family week's vacation?
Family week's vacation.
Favorite type of date night?
It's movie, but that isn't accurate. But okay.
Dress up or dress down?
Up.
Husband takes kids so you get things done at home, or a husband gets things done at home and you take the kids?
I take the kids. He gets things done.
Okay.
Yep.
Work from home or work at the office?
Office.
Childhood memory you'd like to relive?
My friend Christy Vlad just popped in my head because we just laughed our entire childhood, and she's one of my favorite people still. Yeah,
I love when people are that close.
like literally
to
any memory with her.
Celebrity crush?
Mark Wahlberg.
Ooh, good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
Had his picture up in my locker in high school.
The
Calvin
Calvin
Klein ad.
Klein? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Massage or facials for self-care?
Massage.
Exercise in the AM or PM?
AM.
Movie you can watch over and over?
My cousin Vinny.
Oh, Jay said the same thing.
Get out of here! That's so weird.
I had him. I always have him test. I'm like, a lot of these are not going to like relate to
Yeah.
you, but that was exactly what he said.
Too bad. My cousin Vinny and Tommy Boy, my two favorite movies of all time.
Most dreaded phrase to hear from one of your kids?
It's not a phrase. It's just. It's the whine.
The whining.
The whining.
I am with you on that. Yes.
Yeah.
Personal therapy or couples therapy?
Couples.
Okay. Live in
For
the
myself, not everybody. Making
that's
that distinction
a good
clear.
distinction. Yes. Live in the past or live for the future?
Live in the moment.
Oh, very good. Live in the moment. And you are going to be going home with that book today, my dear.
Oh, I love that.
Not that you have any time to read, but you'll have it there
I'll
in
make
case
time.
you ever find. Favorite song to blast in the car?
I mean, I was just blasting We Taken Over from DJ Khaled on the way up here because I'm a millennial mom and that's what I do. So.
I love it. I just absolutely love
But
it.
if not that, then I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
Ooh, another
because
banger.
I have a lovely
Let's go to
spread.
Vegas. Let's go to the Sphere.
I am so dead set on trying to get my ass there. When I've been to like 10 plus Backstreet Boy concerts, it's a problem. Yes.
a very good
So Brian
problem.
Luttrell, if you're watching this,
That's definitely going in some form of content. We're tagging him all over
absolutely,
the place.
that'd be amazing.
Best part of being a mom?
My kids. They're the best part. The
They are.
laugh, the snuggles, the watching TV in my bed.
This
All
is a
of
little
it.
bit of everything.
All of it.
Even when it's hard, that's like the things that bring us back.
Even honestly, some of the best parts are when my kids struggle is being able to be what I wish I had growing up.
I love it.
I love that. It's just
And it just
that
all
in and of itself is
completes the
healing.
circle. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, and finally, at the end of life, actually, I always ask this question: when you're 80, and I
Yes.
just pick 80 randomly, I don't know why, because hopefully we'll all live longer. When you're 80 and you look back at your life, what is the biggest thing that you want to see?
Memories with my family.
Okay, that's the
Yeah.
Italian in you, sister.
Absolutely. Like to be able to just like have my niece and my nephew were just over this weekend and being able to talk about they're 25 and 27 now and just talking about all the things we did when they were little.
Yeah,
I love that.
and time flies in the
And time flies.
blink.
Yep. And I want to be able to look back. I want my kids to have like the memories with family like we did, like
The meals, the
the
memories.
food, always
yeah.
around the food.
It is.
Always like that's so important. Like Sunday gravy is
I love it. I'm coming over for Sunday gravy.
anytime, every Sunday. I make homemade pizza on Fridays.
Ooh.
And then I make the dough from scratch. I make the salt, everything. And then pasta Sundays.
I love it.
Always good
It was
times.
so nice to meet you.
It was so good
for
to be
real
here.
in real life.
Yeah.
Tell everybody again who's watching where to find you.
Yeah, so they could find me our practice website, my group practice with all of our amazing therapists there is peacefullivingmentalhealthcounseling.com. Or you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all those places of at the EMDR coach, at the _EMDR _coach. And then my website is danacarretta.com, 2 R's, 2 T's.
Love it. Thank you so much for taking your
Thank you for
very
having
precious
me.
time to be here. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode. Thank you to Claudio at Kayi Visions, as always, our fabulous studio. And like, subscribe, share, do all the things, and I will catch you next week. Thanks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, follow the full journey on social media at the handle mary.belle.books. And if you have need for audio-visual content creation and recording services, Kayi Visions is located in Stamford, Connecticut, and can also be found on Instagram at CAYI Visions.